Want to start this broadcast by saying this is theoretical. If you're going through gang stalking, this might be an explanation, but most likely not. But as a targeted individual going through this, sorry for clearing my throat. Again, I'm talking low because it's early in the morning and I don't want people eavesdropping on my conversations. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit later about that. But from my research, from what I gather, through living through this program, not saying that I'm right for people. This is the reason why I give these disclaimers is I don't want anyone to hurt nobody. Okay. If you know, you know, if you're really going through this, you're really going through this, you know, the absolute shutdown. Like, I'm going to give you an example how you know you're really going through this. The first few people that are going to come into my live stream are going to be trolls, agitators. Okay. This doesn't happen to anyone else. Maybe a few other people, I should say. The first few people, and there's only a handful of people that come in here and they come here to troll for years. Okay. It's beyond the point of comedy. It's a paid job and it's going to tie into this life insurance policy. Okay. Family witchcraft. Okay. So this again, not to create paranoia, not to create fear, but this is what I'm noticing through my targeting as it's evolving, because you get into a saturation of heavy visual harassment, vandalism, license plates, whatever you're getting your targeting, right? It's all visual. So for you to see it, to know you're being targeted, okay? To raise your anxiety levels, to raise your stress levels when you know you're being targeted compared to when you don't know. Like, think about this. When you're not being targeted and the tactics are happening in the beginning, right? Are you really that depressed? Are you really that anxious? Are you really that angry? You're not, because you don't notice it. So that's why they do it, for you to notice it, because it's going to raise your levels of anxiety, stress, cortisol, and it's going to lower your fucking life expectancy off the rip. Okay. So for people that don't understand why it's so overt, what's up? Thank you for coming in here and being a regular person, because hopefully you're a regular person, because I do get trolled pretty bad, right? I spoke to you last live stream, but if you believe you're going through this, and again, the reason why I say that, there is people that are confused. You can be confused. Your targeting may not be as heavy as you think it is what I'm saying. Okay. Maybe you're being a little bit targeted, but you see stuff online and you think like it's the end of the world. Everyone's a perp. This is not it. Okay. You don't go that deep. But if you're trying to make sense of everything, okay, I'm going to give my life an example. I'm like the youngest person in my family, but I feel like there's a life insurance policy out on me, and that's what the targeting is about. And it's about family witchcraft, Freemasonic ties to secret operations, right? It don't have to be exactly the government, the police. That's to throw you off, okay? Now, when the police know about a targeted individual, they think the targeted individual is mentally ill and is on some type of mental ill watch list. And yeah, the police can be involved in heavier targeting where they're trying to like fucking psychologically fuck with you to commit suicide and shit like that. Okay, follow you. It's not as common, but it can happen. But I believe if you're looking at the core, okay, and again, this is not for anyone to hurt their family, blame their family, right? Unless you actually been through this. But if you, and again, there's another thing in targeting where your family isn't involved, but they do things like mind control type of things where you lump it into the gang stalking, but it's just them having a problem with you. But when I look at everything and I'm looking at my life, and I'm gonna go through what's going on in my life in a little bit, I do believe that this has to be life insurance based. Okay, it has to be experimentation based, life insurance based, witchcraft based, Freemason based at some type of level. Okay, for most TIs. Doesn't mean the Freemasonic Lodge, everybody in the lodge knows about you, and it's maybe your family's connected to a Freemason that's connected to an operation, a life insurance scheme, policy scheme that they put on your life. So let's go over what life insurance is. Now, I did a tiny bit of research, We're not going to make shit up and make up stuff. Like, we're going to go by how it works. Okay. Then we're going to do more research, make sure we're right here. Okay. So for $1 million policy on a life insurance, it's $25 a month. Okay. So if you pay $25, $75 a month, you get $1 million. So what if someone's willing to pay $200 a month and they're going to try to kill you within a certain time by natural stuff, right? Through the gang stalking, through the stress, through the, maybe you commit suicide, maybe you go get shot up by cops is probably the best way. Okay. Go out en masse, and getting shot up by cops is the quickest way to get rid of you. Okay. And get that payout. So if they can provoke you, because a lot of this stuff is about provoking, like, because there's a difference between when you are looking for problems with people, right? You're looking for problems, you run your mouth and, you're yourself, you're okay person, but sometimes maybe you step up, like someone does something disrespectful and you try to stand up for yourself. And then there's some type of natural occurring problem that happens, right? There's a difference between that and then going out your way not to do nothing. And then everyone having a problem without you doing anything. Like, you working a regular job is a problem. You being a fucking quote unquote loser is a problem. Like, you don't work the jobs people like. The reason why they're doing this, because it's part of an agenda. Like, this is like, I'm just realizing this is a witchcraft agenda when it comes to this aspect, right? So in my targeting, when I was living by myself, obviously, they put the harassment on full tilt. Okay. Now, why would they do that? Because when you're by yourself, you have no one to talk to and you're being harassed, you're more likely gonna crash out. If you have even one person to talk to, be like, even if they don't fucking listen, it's someone to talk to and it can get stress off of your chest. So when you live by yourself, you're gonna get the worst harassment because they can't use people around you to get to you. So you're going to get all the visual, for some people, they get directed energy really fucking heavily. And it's like, you better not do this or we're going to hit you with directed energy. You better not do that. Or we're going to hit you with directed energy. And every time you sleep when you're vulnerable, we're going to hit you with directed energy. Well, that's for me personally. Other people talk about getting hit with it all the time. But it's all to have a combination effect. Okay. See, like, my directed energy, for me personally, I'm not speaking for anyone else, is tied into that bed that I have in storage, that vibrates when I go to bed. Okay. Like, they turn it on and off with like a machine switch, right? And I've read the electromagnetic reader from the cell phone onto my bed. And where I laid my head on my mattress had like this fucking reading that's higher than a light bulb of EMF. So I've shown a video of that in the very beginning of my targeting. Okay. And I'm not trying to act like my directed energy is fucking horrible, but I'm just saying for me personally, they implanted something into my mattress. For me personally. Now, for other people, it could be satellites or whatever the fuck. But that only happened. The only reason I'm bringing it up because it happened when I lived alone. Okay. I've lived in several different beds. So like, if I were to count, because if we count hotels and parents and family members, probably 5, 6, 7 beds where that shit doesn't happen. And then as soon as I set that bed up again and I live alone again, it's going to start happening. So that's the point. Like, people make up all this shit. Oh, it's a terrorist watch list. It's the government. It's this and that. They wouldn't have enough time and resource. Like, they wouldn't need some type of payout to be fulfilling this. So the payout would have to be life insurance. Okay. Because if you can pay $25 for a $1 million policy, how do you know there's no Freemasons that have secret policies where it's like, all right, if you pay $15 a month to this illegal company that kills people, we'll fucking give you a $40 million payout or $50 million, $100 million. Okay, now that sounds unbelievable. Let's go by how life insurance works. Okay, like actual real life life insurance. So you have to prove that for life insurance, you can't take it out on a random person. That's against the law, right? you have to prove that you'll be financially fucked up if that person dies. So it has to be a loved one, spouse, parent, someone in your family. So this is how this shit works, guys. This is called Stoli life insurance. Google it. It's stranger owned life insurance, Stoli life insurance. So what people will do with elderly people, okay, this is real. This is what happens in real life, okay, that we can equate to gang stalking. What people do with old people is investors will approach like a son, and they'll offer the son $150,000 cash, right? And the son just opens a life insurance policy for the investor on their parent or elderly person, right? And the son gets 100. That's a real thing. It's called Stoli. Okay. So a stranger owns the parent's life insurance policy, but the son gets 200,000 or 150,000, 50,000. So think about that logic. So if someone's willing, if there's an actual market for Stoli life, like there's people that do this, like, here, give me your parents' life insurance and I'll give you a lump sum of money. First of all, they're rich. Okay. First of all, these investors are really rich, right? These are shady investors. If they're giving out $150,000 like candy, that means that they have millions of dollars. Okay. And there's ways to get money through hedge funds and things like that. They have millions of dollars to play with. And if you were to estimate your targeting realistically, it's like millions of dollars that they use in the targeting. Okay. Over time. And that's why it stops and slows down is because they don't want to spend too much money because it's an investment. Your gang stalking is an investment. Okay. So my tactics have moved from, they're still going on with the license plates and things like that. But now that I'm living with family, my focus is going to be on family and not living alone and survival. So when you're living alone, you'll focus on financial survival because they're fucking your finances up. And then you see the tactics all the fucking time, like the plates, the perp showing up, this, and that, and just constant. You are going to crash out more frequently than you're being financially sabotaged. And you don't see that stuff frequently because you're not reminded of the targeting, because people will forget. Like, I'm at the stage of my targeting where I don't think about gang stalking every single day. Like, I purposely block it out, and I don't really watch the videos anymore. And sometimes I come on here, like, the most I think about is like when I come on here and talk about it, I like try to keep it at that. So I just been noticing shit with my family where it's just like, first of all, this is what I will notice, and I'm not trying to make up things that go along with gang stalking narratives for 500 Alec Trebek, like Jeopardy or some shit. I'm not trying to go off on like, that's one thing I'm very careful of, is not calling everything gang stalk, because I think that's one of the most dangerous parts of it, and that's what they count on, because that's when you're gonna go hurt somebody. If you literally think everything's gang stalking, and then bad shit keeps happening, whether it's gang stalking or not. So this is the thing, right? This is what I noticed about my family, that they have some type of money tap in, okay? Because I've been living with these people and known these people my whole lives, and we never had any fucking money until I started getting gang stalked. And the reason why, it's part of a facade here where it's like a money laundering system, right? Within the family, where I'm noticing certain family members, they're fucking up left and right, right? We're not talking about natural fuck ups, goofy, like whatever, speeding tickets. Like, I'll just go over what happened to me. I got a speeding ticket. It's Mercury retrograde. So I got a red light ticket, actually. I ran a red light on a camera when it was yellow, then it turned to red because my brakes were bad. So I couldn't really stop. It was raining and shit. So I just ran it as it turned red, and I didn't know it was a camera there. Got in a car accident, little fender bender. So I couldn't work for like a week and a half, right? I have a whole bunch of bills and shit coming up. You know, that's normal life stuff. Like, that's me. That's my fault. Like, I don't blame that on gang stalking. Like, that's what I'm comparing it to, right? That's a horrible situation, right? That I got coming up. So I have to work my ass off. I've been eating cheap ass food. You know what I'm saying? Like, not buying expensive shit. Like, being careful with my money, and I have to everything I work and make, I have to pay towards for like 2-3 weeks towards bills and paying people back and shit like that. Maybe a month, right? And that's normal shit that can happen to somebody. Okay, that happens. Like, the stuff with my family is like, these people get. I'll give you an example. I'm not gonna give specific people names or anything. Fucking like running. All right, let me give you an example. This person for every day for work ran a toll, like didn't pay a toll every single day that they had to work, and racked up $2,000 to $3,000 in toll tickets, fucking thousands of dollars in red light tickets, fucking, well, I wouldn't say thousand, maybe like 500, 600, 700 red light tickets. Fucking don't pay their bills and shit every month, and then their bills get paid. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't even make where it's like, all right, there's a person fucking up, and then there's a person that knows that there's a bunch of money, like there's a pot of money that they can reach in and grab anytime. So they're just living life recklessly and shit. And it's not just one family member, it's multiple. We have another family member spending thousands of dollars on this, thousands of dollars on that, like useless shit that like has no value and shit. Just like, I'm not gonna go into specific details. Like, oops, I accidentally ordered this for $2,000. This is the wrong thing. And like, we live in a small fucking townhouse, fucking row home, and it doesn't make fucking sense. Like, this money was never there fucking before the Gangstalking. Okay. So even if you're talking retirement, like, they've blown through hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, I know that for a fact. So like, even if you had a retirement fund of $100,000, like, you'd be fucking poor. Like, you'd be fucking eating out of soup cans and shit. So there's some type of fucking eternal like wealth, and I don't mean eternal, but for like a poor person, like a big pot of gold that they have somewhere hidden. Okay, because they're not spending money and like, oh, let's go on a vacation, let's buy restaurant food. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they have the money now, but they're like spending it like in a way in front of me that's like, all right, we got money now. All of a sudden, like, we made some good investments and saved money. We have a nest egg. Like, let's order a pizza or something. Nah, it's not none of that. But there's this secretive, like, I don't know. I know spending habits, and when you're spending that type of money, you're gonna buy something nice, man. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, so that's what I'm talking about with the life insurance policy. When my targeting started, theoretically, could an investor gave them $200,000 to the family, 300, and then they have to spend it in a certain way to make sure I don't know. Like, they're like, yeah, you can spend this money, but only when he moves away. When he moves away, and there's no way he knows how you're living, like, you can spend the money, but while he's here, you do have to pretend to be broke. Like, you're not allowed to buy. Like, there's probably rules and shit to it. Or maybe there's rules to how much they can take out at a time. Like, okay, we're going to give you a $300,000 jackpot. You can only take out $10,000 a month because we want this to last. And then when he dies, you get another $1 each. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what a possibility. Like, the people behind the gang stalking, they fucking, if someone's willing to give someone $150,000 for a life insurance policy on someone else, like, that's a lot of money. That's not 20,000. Like, people would do that for way less. Way less. There's people offering $250,000. Come on, I know people that do that shit for $10,000, let alone 50,000 or 100,000. Now we're talking 200,000. What if they do that? What if they give a pot of money and there's rules to the money, how the money's taken out? Like, okay, well, we have to, well, like, basically they have like a financial advisor that approves, like, you have $300,000, but you can't spend it like crazy. Like, we'll approve certain transactions. There's certain things we won't approve of. See what I'm saying? So that's why they paint the targeted individual mentally ill, because mentally ill people who are single have a lower life expectancy. Like I have to do all the research on it. But if you're single, you have a lower life expectancy. If you're being harassed, you have a lower life expectancy. Like we talk about the new car thing. I know a family member that got received 2 new cars in my targeting and just runs them to the ground. Like it doesn't make sense because I'm gonna give you a scenario, okay? Me, targeted individual. When needed, I'll give you like my shopping habits. Like one thing I buy is weed. Okay, I buy weed. I spend $60, $70 a week on weed. Okay, that's my fault. But I work and I make enough where obviously if I never smoked weed, I'd be in a better position. I have more money. But everyone has vices. Everyone goes to Wawa. Like I smoke weed, but I don't go to Wawa. I don't go to Outback Steakhouse. And like if I wasn't smoking weed, I'll be buying that same money in fucking restaurant food. Because I don't believe in just working and not buying nothing. But I'm still smart. So I'm just giving you my shopping habits, right? Like I don't buy clothes, I don't buy fucking fancy shoes because I'm not in no position to buy that shit. When I am, I will. You know what I'm saying? Even if I do, if I buy a pair of sneakers, it's like $100 and then it lasts. Like I have new pairs of shoes that are 3, 4 years old. You know what I'm saying? That I've like barely worn. So I wear them when I go out and things like that. So I don't need to buy that stuff, is what I'm saying. Like I have new clothes. I have that shit already. If I need to put it on, I'm just trying to tell you what type of person I am. I try to pay my bills up front. You know what I'm saying? I kind of suck at saving money. I'll give you that. But try to pay my bills up front. So if I have money, I'm paying my bills. My car's broken, I fix it before it breaks, like shit like that. Type of person. I'm just trying to tell you the type of person I am, right? If I'm buying some fast food, I'm using an app to save money. You know, I don't, because I know I've lived that life before. If you spend, let's say you go out to a restaurant, spend $50, then you go out with your friends later that week, spend $200, then you buy a pair of sneakers. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't sustain that lifestyle. You're supposed to like be smart with your money. That's part of life. Okay. So I'm living like this. I keep having these quote unquote bad luck situations, right? So these quote unquote bad luck situations, right? That set me back, right? Whether it's targeting or not, right? Cool. Maybe I have bad luck. So you have that one target individual, then this family member, right? Runs through 2 cars, lives a fucking lifestyle of a fucking with no money, literally with no money. Oh, I gotta fucking spend $50, $100 a day. I have to wear the nicest shit. I fucking I don't pay my bills. Like I don't pay my bills at all. Like I wait till they all go late. I wait till eviction notice and shit like that. Like how does that person, the second person, survive longer than the first person? How is that fucking possible? That second person always gets what the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? Like, but the first person doesn't get any fucking break. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started a job, and then as soon as I started a job, I get in a fucking staged car accident where people put on their brakes. We're going on a straight road, and they fucking just completely, everyone fucking breaks a complete break. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like when let's say someone misses a turn in front of you and just fucking stomps on the brake without looking behind them, and then the person behind them hits them. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the type of stuff that happens to me, right? And then when I get in those situations, I have no way out, basically. And it doesn't even take me long to get on my feet. Like if I can work the way I want to work for about a month, maybe 2 months, I'll be fucking in a better position. But they keep stopping that. That's what I'm trying to say. Like that shit doesn't make fucking sense. Okay. And it's because like let's say I'm living like the second person. Bro, I wouldn't last a day. I wouldn't last a day if I fucking smoked $50 worth of weed or bought 4 pairs of Jordans and went to restaurants. There's no way I would fucking survive. So I choose not to live like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm humbling myself to fucking pay bills, fucking pay whatever I owe back. And people just say, well, you're not making enough money. They won't let me make the money. Okay. See, one thing, this is how I know my family's involved in this shit. So I'm gonna give you a scenario, right? I'm gonna tell you what I do to make money, like quickly, easily. You can use it too. The best way to make money, okay, without a college degree, without any type of training, if you're trying to make quick, good money legally, is deliver pizza, Lyft, DoorDash, and then work a regular job. Okay. People do this shit all the time. Or you can just work a regular job and deliver pizza part time or whatever. Do Lyft part time. That's the best way without any college degree to make money. Okay. So people don't do math. Okay. This is what society doesn't do. They hear pizza delivery and they think of some fucking like pizza boy with a fucking hat with a spinning wheel on the top of his head that's making $20 a night. Okay. Just stupid shit. They just make shit up, or you're just doing this and that. Like, even if you're working at a fast food restaurant. So I'm gonna give you a scenario. You work at a fast food restaurant that's 15 an hour that pays you every week, and you work 25 hours. Easy job. 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. 25 times 15 is, I think, 400. I don't want to do the math right now. 15 times 10 is like 350, like, I don't know, let's say 350. Okay. So one job is paying you 350. It's easy as shit. You get off work, you do what you gotta do. Then at night you deliver pizza where you're getting paid $15 an hour and your tips. So with the pizza job alone, you're making $120. So you see what I'm saying? Like on Sunday I made $300. Okay, I made $300 on Sunday doing what I'm talking about. So imagine if I was able to do that 5 days a week. Yeah, I'm working long hours, but I'll be making $1,500 a week, and it's easy labor. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. My family has such a problem with that, with these people like fucking underachieving their whole fucking lives, right? They don't have nothing to show, nothing. But like, if I'm making money doing that to get on my feet, that's not something I want to do the rest of my life. But yeah, if I need to do it now, I have no problem doing that now. I have no problem working 2 jobs, door dashing or doing Lyft and making $1,500, $1,400, $1,700 a week. Okay. Like, what do you want me to do? Drive a truck 60 hours a week on a fucking highway to make the same money? Do you see what I'm talking about? They have such a fucking problem with that. They act like this is how I know my family's involved. They act like the reason why I'm poor is because I'm doing those jobs, but the reason why I'm poor is because I'm being targeted, and fucking every time I try to get on my feet, people keep setting me back, or something bad fucking happens that has nothing to do with targeting, and it's a streak of bad luck. Whatever way you want to look at it. It has nothing to do with me working the jobs. Like, they acting like, oh, if you're doing that, you're only making $300 a week doing 3 jobs. But they never seen it. That's the whole point. They never fucking seen it. Like, I got a family member that works like a good job that literally fucking needs help every fucking bill he has to pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit doesn't make sense. These people are getting mad that I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like, people that fucking didn't give me anything growing up telling me, oh, blah, blah, blah. They're not getting mad, but they're acting all concerned and shit. When I've told them, like, bro, I used to make $1,100, $1,200 a week doing this shit. And I'm not saying I want to do this for my whole fucking life, but why would I walk away from that money because you don't like it? Like, that's just so stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't affect them whatsoever. So I know they're involved in this shit because for me to even get to that point, it's 30 million fucking roadblocks. Like, so I got the job, right? A month ago. It took 3 weeks for me to start the first day at the job, right? I don't know. Won't specifically say that's targeting. Okay. But it's like once I start the job for a week, then a car accident happens that I have no control over. And you're gonna hear that, well, it's your fault. You should have. No, bro, we were going straight. Just imagine you're driving on a fucking basically a highway and the person in front of you literally stops fucking their car into park in front of you. And then you brake and there's nothing, your brakes lock and you tap the back of their car. Like you literally tap it where it doesn't even leave a fucking scratch. Barely. There's nothing you can do. Like I can drive in front of somebody and break my car. They would brick hit the back of my car. So it's completely staged accident, I believe, man. And that bitch wants fucking insurance money too. Like she said she was fine at the scene, was acting all nice. And then she tried to go to the doctor like days after the fucking car accident when my car got damaged. And there was literally no damage to her car. Like if someone taps the back of your fucking car, unless you hit the car in front of you, how the fuck are you hurt? You know what I'm saying? Shit's fucking crazy. But those regular people can make these faulty car accident claims, get all these fucking payouts. You know what I'm saying? Get all these painkillers and all this shit that they can sell to their friends. So I think this is how the targeting starts. The fucking people put you on a life insurance policy. So I think in order for that to happen, you have to be part of the family. Okay. So your family, okay, this is all theoretical, but your family sold you out. Like they don't like you, or someone approached them like your family member is dying or something. Like they could be lying or something. Like I don't know. They come up with any fucking reason. Maybe they have witchcraft foresight. They can see when people are like around the ages are gonna die. There is some like calculator, like a death calculator and shit like that. So maybe there's a death calculator situation where they input your statistics. Does he smoke? Does he do this? Does he live alone? Oh, his life expectancy is about 50 years old. You know, we're getting close to that age. They probably try to take people out by the time they probably invest so much where they try to take someone out by the time they're like 50 or 60. They just like by that time when it comes to the end of the investment, that's when they just overtly kill you. You know what I'm saying? Where they make it look like an accident. Okay. So this is how it would work, right? So the investor has $10 million. Let's say the investor has $20 million to spend for the whole budget, right? So that's going to include the gang stalking, the tactics to kill you, okay? The money be exchanged from perp hand to perp hand and handler to perp hand, hiring handlers, surveillance, the drone for certain TIs, directed energy, okay? So they do an all-out attack on you. So you're getting hit when you're TI. You will notice that you're getting hit with witchcraft, right? Like these bad things that are happening in these streaks have to do with witchcraft and not bad luck. So you have a fucking witches after you. Okay, you got slow poisoning. And I'm talking about super slow, undetectable poisoning. Maybe it shaves off 20 years off your life, right? But it's undetectable. It's not known yet. You got directed energy. You got the perp tactics. And that's just to give you the psychosis. That's why some targets talk about they give you psychosis. And they induce mental illness because people that are mentally ill have a lower life expectancy. because they look at mentally ill people as like fucking people who have rotting brains with chemicals that are like rotting their brains, chemical imbalances, and the way they see life is so distorted, and they just like know you're gonna die earlier, so they hit you with that. And let's just say there's a $20 million budget, right? So the family gets, let's just put some numbers out there. Let's just say the family gets $3 million over the course of 20 years. Okay. So you get 3 million divided by 20 is like $150,000 a year, which is like a normal salary. And the reason why they do that is so when you're spending the money, it looks like natural. Like, let's say you have the target in your family, you're spending the money. If you're spending all 3 mil at one time, the target has enough time to be like, wow, where'd you get all that money? And then the police or whoever is investigating. But if it's a way where you get $150,000, and it could be in the form of like a financial advisor. So the financial advisor holds the money and you ask him for money and he's going to send it to different accounts. So the family members can open up 10 different bank accounts. Okay. Each family member has 10 bank accounts. And every time they need money out of that 150,000, they text the guy or call them and explain what they need the money for. And then he'll be like, all right, well, I'm gonna put 1,000 in this account, 500 in that account, 700 in this account, this in that account, blah, 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 blah. It's a form of money laundering. So the 3 mil gets divided into $150,000 increments per year for 20 years. So your family has access to spend an extra 150,000. So any work they get, like let's say they work a regular job, they might have to work a regular job to keep it covered. So that's like play money. Okay. So they can encourage you to even don't pay your bills too. Act like you like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna pay your bills, but pay your bills late. That way it seems like you never had money. You know what I'm saying? Because the confidence that I see is how I know something's up. It's not about how people spend money, how people live their life. It's like, how are you so confident you're gonna live to see another day with the way you're spending and living? Like multiple people in the family. Like that's an odd level of confidence you have there. You know what I'm saying? Like everything's gonna be okay financially, and like you have an unlimited well of money to reach in and get. So 3 million goes to the family. They might do 7 million for the targeting, 5 million for the surveillance, like the satellite, over time, over the course of 20 years. And they probably have ways to make money off the surveillance. Like they hire their own companies, there's tax write-offs. So like for the surveillance, they're paying themselves. They start a surveillance company and then they write off taxes. And then they get all that money back, the investment money back, because it'll look like business transactions. Oh, we paid for this. We paid for this consulting company to harass the target. We pay for this consulting company to harass the target, and it's tax write-offs. Okay, so by the end of it, and then they use some of the money to pay for the life insurance policy. So they might put like 500 a month towards your policy, and these are legal Freemason policies that only secret dark Freemasons know about. You know, so your family's getting $150,000 spending budget, right? For just spending, like not to do anything else with it. And then by the time you fucking pass, they get whatever, a couple mil each. I mean, I know many people, I just made that all up. Like, I'm not saying that's what's going on, but the simple fact that I can make that up off the spot with all these 7 billion people on the planet, all these resources, you know, this stuff's going on. If I'm able to think of it, someone else has already thought of it. Yo, Christopher Mosley, you want to hop in the chat, tell your story or whatever, or if you want to contribute anything? Young Steel, if Young Steel's in here, he can come into my chat too. I don't really drop the link too much because Young Steel knows about the family witchcraft aspect. But we're gonna go into that in the second part of the live stream. Just give me a second. Anyone wants to jump in? Let me know if you have anything to contribute or some similar stories or anything. Maybe if you disagree, come into the live stream. So the witchcraft aspect, like, is your family members secret witches and warlocks? Because to the esoteric, the like kind of the evil shit. Like I'm not an expert in this shit. If you look into like the evil of the world, the occult, uh, the dark, if you understand that, if you just there's certain people that look at witches and Freemasons like, oh, those guys are just part of a club or they're just doing silly spells. There's a reason why people join this stuff. It's because it works. It does give you power and shit like that. So if you understand like how this world is ran off human sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? Like pedophilia and human trafficking, you know, that's part of our how the world makes money. Okay. Sex slavery, like that's a part of the economy of the world. Like part of your house was built on human trafficking money, like shit like that. No matter where you are in the world, like there's some type of form of disgusting behavior going on. Okay, not everyone's a normal person living a normal life. Like if you think like that, you're stupid. You're naive. So if you understand that, you understand witches, like these people, because I'm doing some study on it. These people cast spells, like they'll grab your hair, put it on an altar, cast a spell on you. You'll get hurt in real life. This is stuff that happens to target individuals. Like some of the stuff that's happening, that's bad luck, is witchcraft. Hold on a second. I know what's going on with my computer. I like to keep the background noise and shit because this shit's getting annoying, man. I need to live by myself because I can't express myself. That's another reason I'm making this video. Like even just me working the jobs that I'm working, like how does that offend people? Because you really got to think about as a TI that I'm getting flack, you know, from people that don't even help me in any fucking financial way as far as help me elevate me, right? How does that affect people? When I go to AutoZone and I see a white guy working at AutoZone, do you think his family is like, man, you work at AutoZone, man. You need to step it up. You need to step it up in life, dude. You work at, I mean, that's good for now, but it's not an issue when a white lady works at fucking Food Lion that comes from like a middle class background. Why does that matter? That doesn't fucking matter what someone does to make money because they're not paying your bills. You know, they're not your daddy. They're not your mommy. You know, you shouldn't be embarrassed by what someone else does for a living. If someone works at McDonald's, who gives a fuck? If they're making money and they can pay their bills, who cares, bro? Like, yeah, I don't prefer to work there, but it doesn't affect me. Someone has to work that job, so why does it matter? But that's the whole thing. It's an agenda. It's a witchcraft spell. They're doing witchcraft on me. When you have someone doubt themselves and you're manipulating their emotions based on like what they do with their life. Like there's people that fucking have gay sex secretly. You know what I'm saying? There's people that cheat on their wives with fucking gay prostitutes and fucking people that hook up with little kids and shit. And you're mad at someone for working a delivery job? Like, does that make sense to anybody? Can anyone speak in the chat? Like, I would like to hear your thoughts on that. Like, and this is a reoccurring theme of the shame tactics. And this is one thing. Let's say my family was like doctors and shit like that. Yeah, I would understand that. Like, I would understand, like, that's a part of life. Oh, my family were like doctors and like they were fucking these big successful people. But they're literally getting mad. I think it's a part of an agenda to stop me from making more money than they can doing those jobs. Okay, I think that's part of an agenda. It's part of the targeting. That's why I'm bringing this shit up. Um, is like people trying to control your life. Okay, these people have fucking done nothing but embarrass me. Done nothing but literally, like I'm talking about from the public. People from the public feel bad, right? People from the public, like people like if you knew my family, you'd be like, damn, dude, I feel bad for you. They have to put up with that shit. Like that shit embarrassing, bro. Like, bro, that's my whole life, and they're embarrassed that I'm fucking trying to do something. So my plan is this. I don't even like telling my plans because they always get sabotaged. Is to do those jobs until I'm back on my feet. Then I'm gonna look for some type of career work. But I can't. This is what my family's getting mad at. Is I'm not looking for the career work right now, even though I'm fucking supposed to move. I already told these people multiple times that I'm moving in a few months. So does that make sense? Anyone in the chat? Because this sounds like some petty ass shit, but the reason why I'm bringing it up because I do believe it has to do with the targeting. I do believe this is some type of like crypto witchcraft shit, right? But does anyone can anyone speak up to that? Does that make sense? Like, all right, if I'm gonna find a career job, why would I do it in a state that I'm gonna move in 3-4 months in? Does that make any fucking sense? Like, if I was gonna live here, then I would need to find a career and figure out things because I would need to eventually get an apartment, newer car. But if I can work a job, if I'm working, let's say I'm working at fucking Food Line and then I deliver pizza at night and I work 50 hours a week and make $900, $1,000. Why the fuck would I do that though right now? You know, that's not something you want to do your whole fucking life. You don't want to be 40, 50 years old, 60 years old doing that. You need some type of pension. You need better pay. Yeah, I get it. But what's my alternative? I get a job at fucking a construction site. I make 17, 18, 19, $20 an hour and I make 700 every week. So I will be making less money. Okay. And another thing with those jobs, there's a reason why I don't want to look for those jobs. It makes sense, right? This makes sense. Doesn't it take, am I making this up where if you try to get a decent job, doesn't it take a month, maybe 2 months to get the job or at least your first paycheck? So think about someone who's owes a lot of money in bills. He needs money quickly. Okay. We just know, and as a TI, that these jobs don't fucking, I've been hired at jobs, filled out paperwork and at 2 or 3 jobs, and then they still wouldn't start me. So if I'm not allowed to get a regular job that I should be able to get, why would a TI be able to get some extravagant job? Okay. And even if you did get that job, they would try to fucking harass the shit out of you or fucking make you feel inferior in some type of way. Fuck with your paycheck. Like there's so many things that could go wrong. Like where the quote unquote high paying job. Now there's certain jobs that I think are high, decent paying that won't screw me over. And that's stuff like trucking, driving a fucking truck or fucking being a security guard or fucking, you know, certain different little skilled trades, things like that. I'm not against that shit, but it's like, there's no point right now. There's no fucking point. Because if you get a good job in the state that you're moving from, you'll be incentivized to stay at that fucking state that you don't want to fucking live in. Be in the situation you don't want to live. So anyway, if anybody wants to fucking leave feedback, does that make any fucking sense? If someone's moving to look for some high paying fucking job and wait around for for a phone call for an interview? Or does it make sense if they know how to make $1,000, $1,100 a week to do it on regular bullshit jobs? Like when I was living in North Carolina, there was a dude that worked at UPS and fucking he delivered pizza at fucking Domino's Pizza. Like I don't understand that shit. Like he was making good money, so he's working his ass off, but he's making good money. That's life. That's what you're supposed to do. I don't know where this magic theory where your TI and everything's just fucking, you're supposed to just like apply to be a doctor or some shit. But yeah, that's all I got to say about that part. But basically, I think it's the reason why I bring it up. It sounds like petty shit, but I think it's witchcraft because it's been, I don't know, almost a year of that bullshit that I've been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a form of witchcraft because if you know someone's targeted, why the fuck would you insistently say, why don't you get a good job? 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 You know what I'm saying? I think it's a form of witchcraft. It's a form of the targeting. That's how my targeting has evolved, though. My targeting has evolved where in PA here, like fucking, there's not as much tactics. I don't know. I'm not like as active. I don't know. Like I'm not out in a new area where there's access to a lot of perps, like in Raleigh, North Carolina. So there is perps, but there's not like unlimited access to fucking perping or something here, right? So I think the tactics move into this Denzel Washington fallen tactics where every time I deal with a family member, there's this problem. It's a manufactured problem. It can't be a normal situation. And it's a distraction from my life. Like it's a fucking distraction. And I don't mean that in a selfish way because I sit here and help people. But the reason why I know it's a distraction, like I'm gonna give you an example. When somebody has a broken transmission, right, in their car, and they're stressing like, oh, I got broken transmission, broken transmission. So I'm like, get car shield, get the fucking car insurance for the car repair. Like those commercials you see, they fix transmission, so you pay a deductible, fix the transmission. But they'll keep saying that, oh man, oh, and they'll sit there and they'll listen to advice, and then they'll just sit there and buy a brand new transmission for $5,000 or $6,000, and then have the money magically show up for that. You know what I'm saying? Like things that don't even make fucking logical sense. So that's what I mean by distraction. Like that sounds like another petty thing and this and that. I don't like going into too many details and examples and shit, but I just want to give you paint a picture where how these distractions work. So they'll bring up a problem. The solution will be simple. The solution's not my solutions. Everyone else's solution except theirs. They'll be like, oh, wow, I don't know. Yeah, oh. And then they go with the dumb solution and fuck it up. And it's a distraction. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's a huge distraction from my life. Like, yeah, once in a while that can happen, but every time I fucking see you, like, come the fuck on, man. I think it's a part of the targeting. This is why you guys don't understand. I think these are manufactured problems. This is part of the targeting, part of the life insurance targeting. And it's part to just bring me down. They're like, well, right now we can't get them with a lot of license plates. We can do a couple 666s. You know, there's only so much we can do out here with these license plates, MMA license plates and bullshit in Pennsylvania. It's like whatever we have available. You know, we're an investment company, but every time you deal with him, we're gonna give you these scripted problems, or you got to create an issue, and if he gives you the solution, you just ignore it. Dude, I've been dealing with this shit for like 8 months. So you know what I'm saying? This is not like life altering stuff like that I care about. You see, you know what I'm saying? But it's literally distracting me and stopping me from doing shit. Not that I care that it's going on, but it's a part of the targeting. Trust me, if I don't like something, I'll complain about it. Like this stuff doesn't bother me, but it's so consistent. That's what I'm talking about. It's months of consistency where it's like it's either something is mind controlling you to fuck with me, like Denzel Fallon, or it's part of an agenda. It is not me getting annoyed. If you understand what I'm saying, it's not me just getting annoyed at people and having a short fuse and getting angry. That's not what's going on. So My brother was a TI, was unalived, and I'm sure my family members cashed in on it. My uncle was fired from a life insurance company for fraud. That included taking out life insurance policies on homeless people. By the way, my uncle is a Mason. Now, I mean, I'd love to hear you say that on live stream because that's pretty convenient. See, I get trolled on here. You seem like a legitimate dude, but they could have just downloaded some black dude's profile picture and just put that name and just agree with what I'm saying so they can gain my trust. But what if you're saying is true? I mean, it does validate what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty spot on at detecting the gang stalking. I'm pretty spot on with detecting this shit because all you gotta do is live through it and do some research. And you're not gonna solve gang stalking, but when you're living through something as a human, you know about it. Like a fucking slave that was born into slavery knows what slavery is. You know what I'm saying? They don't like, well, that's just, they know what the fuck they're going through. Someone that's living in prison, they know they're in prison. That's what they try to do is that's why they do the mental illness tactics. Anyone saying that gang stalking is mental illness is a perp. Period. I mean, there's mentally ill people that get confused and think they're gang stalked. But the whole aspect of, yeah, if maybe you get things wrong in gang stalking, but that's not your fault because no one's explained to you what's going on. And your guess is as good as mine. I admit that, but I'm gonna give you an example. All right, you're walking in the middle of the woods, right? You're going on a trail. You're going to walk a trail. You're a fucking white lady. You walk on a trail, and the Appalachian Trail for exercise every morning. You like to do 10-mile hikes. You do it for 5 years. Nothing really happens. You see a couple bears. You see a couple wildlife. You might run into people here and there. One day you start going. You hear the tree bark get shot. Okay, so you're getting shot at by a gun. Okay, and it's hitting the tree bark right next to where you're walking, and you start running, and you hear the tree bark getting shot. Pew, pew, pew. And you run all the way home. Then you get scared, right? You don't do it for a little bit, and like maybe some hunters, some wild hunters, you gain the courage, you start doing it again. You hear same thing happens. Now every time you go hiking, someone's shooting at you, but you never see where the shots are coming from. The only thing you see is the bullet holes, right? And the tree exploding. You know you're getting shot at every time, but you never see it. The person's wearing camo, they're wearing a ghillie suit, and they're just fucking shooting at tree next to you, or they're trying to kill you, right? So you tell people, oh, every time I go to hiking now, someone tries to shoot at me. And everyone's like, yeah, right. How would you know? How would you know? Why didn't you? What they look like? Like, I don't know. I have to run because there's trees getting shot. So you bring that person that's a skeptic. You show them the bullet holes in the trees. Like, this is where he's shooting me at. Well, how do I know that those bullet holes weren't already there? How do you know some hunter didn't do that months ago? Do you get it? You know you're getting shot at because you're living through it. You have the adrenaline rush. You're hearing the tree explode. You're looking back and seeing bullet holes in the trees, but you never can see who the person is because they're wearing a ghillie suit. They're wearing a fucking camo suit. And they're hiding. They're hiding behind some foliage and just, directions it's coming from. You can hear it. You can feel it. Your life is in danger. You have to run home. If you walk, you will die because you're getting shot at, but no one else sees it. You get it? That's what gang stalking is. They wait for that scenario. That's what they're doing. They're waiting for you to be alone to give you maximum damage. And then they play off of you telling the story. And then after you tell that story so many times, people start approaching your whoever you're telling. Oh yeah, she's crazy, man. No one's shooting her. I think she's schizophrenic. That's what I'm saying. That's the same exact allegory. It's the same thing as gangstalking. You know what's happening. It's everything. You have all the proof. You got your evidence. The bullet holes is your evidence. It's like, so how am I showing you random bullet holes? Like, how the fuck do you not believe that someone's shooting at me when I'm taking you to where the trees are shot and you're looking at the bullet holes with your eyes? Well, I didn't see him shooting. You could be making it all up. See anybody, and then after a while, you realize when you go through that experience of that woman walking through the trail, you realize who's in on it and who's not in on it. Yeah, there's going to be people that don't believe you because they weren't there. And it sounds like a crazy story that's made up. But there's going to be certain people that try to cover it up. They try to play it off. They try to act like, oh, just go out there, dude. I think you're just tripping. Just keep going. Just keep going out to that same spot. I'm not going to go with you. I don't want to, but you should keep going because they want to see you get shot. They want to see you get hurt. That's how you know who the players are. I'll give you another example. Like you're friends with a dude from the hood, like a big, bad, dangerous neighborhood, ghetto neighborhood. You have a nice car and you go pick him up and he always sets you up where he sets you up in front of like the gang in front of his house. And he's friends with them. And then one day you pick him up, you get carjacked. You're not really good friends with him like that. But one of his friends carjacked you. I'm like, dog, isn't that your friend? Like, were you involved in this? No. What are you talking about? You're crazy. Fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, that's what people do when they're involved in something. They always lie and try to blame the victim. There's no middle ground. There's no, well, I think you're wrong, but I'll hear you out. Nah, they always try to blame the victim that they're victimizing because that's how you get away with it. It's that simple. That's how you get away with it. I didn't set you up. Why would I do that? It's like, well, you told me to park in this weird spot and you're friends with half the guys that robbed you. Like, I've seen you shake their hands. Like, I don't know those guys, so I don't know nothing. That's on you. You shouldn't have parked there. Why would you park next to people? Like, that's how they set you up. There's people like that. They put you in a trap and then they blame you for being in the trap. Well, you shouldn't have fell for the trap. Well, you shouldn't have set the trap. Well, you should have been smarter and not fell for the trap. That's what they always do because it's easier for them to do that. The other alternative is to reason with you and be logical and admit fault. They don't. That's harder because they have an agenda. They have a pre-planned agenda. Do you get it? Like, it's not that difficult to understand, bro. Like, there's gonna be even people that disagree with you on Gangstalking. There's gonna be some type of middle ground. Like, listen, that sounds unbelievable. Can you show me anything? You show them stuff. Well, I believe you a little bit more, but I still don't believe that this is going on. But I mean, thank you for showing me. At least you're not lying to me. I still don't believe it, but hey, I'll admit that, you're not completely crazy and lying, but you see, there's middle ground. People that aren't giving you middle ground are they're part of it. Yeah, I'm already screwed. Abe says you better freaking do something because your time's running short. You'll blink and be 43 like me. It's much harder. You're screwed. Hey man, I'm fine with being screwed. I don't even care anymore. I fucking don't care. Like, I'm at the point where I'm not giving up on life, but I fucking don't care about this fucking shit. When I see people in my family spend money, like I see a family member spending thousands of dollars recklessly, okay, just entitled to thousands of dollars of not their money recklessly. And they always live another day. You know what I'm saying? There is no, like, this whole system is fake anyways. I fucking don't care about it. Like, it's just like, oh, well, we're going to call you a loser and, well, show me a fucking winner. Show me who's winning in this fucked up economy that's doing fucking good, who's married happily with the perfect wife and family. It's not fucking happening. It's all lies. That's what I realized. Like, all these people promoting this shit are fucking, they're stage actors in this matrix. It had nothing really to do with Gangstalking. They're stage actors and actresses in a materialistic matrix, okay, where you show people how cool you are. You show people how rich you are. And outside of that, it's fucking emptiness. It's nothing. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, what's the best thing that can happen in your fucking life as a man? You buy a fucking big house, you fucking fuck some bimbo in it. Like, it doesn't matter. None of this shit fucking matters. Only thing is, I'm not going fucking homeless without someone paying for it. That's the only thing. Because I know that I worked hard and I'm willing to fucking work, and that people are keeping away shit. There is no future for me. When someone's keeping away you having an apartment and having a working vehicle and a fucking career, and you're trying to do everything as a black man, you're a black man in this fucking country. And I don't consider myself super black, like dark-skinned black, going through the struggle. But you don't try to sell drugs. You try to do everything right. And people have such a fucking problem with it. I don't want to fucking buy into that system. I don't want to fucking help that system, dude. That's insanity. There's black people murdering people on podcasts, talking about murders and robbing people. You know what I'm saying? And those people get promoted. But a black person trying to work a fucking regular job has to have satellites hooked up and family members paid off and all this shit, dude. Fuck this system. It's a fake system. It was never built on work and honor and paying into the system. It's a complete human trafficking fraud system. So I can give a fuck less about, oh, when I get old, how many bitches did I fuck? How many mansions did I buy? How many people did I impress, dude? Because I know I can fucking take a bunch of people out at fucking any time. I'm not going to do it, but I know I fucking can. So it's best to just leave me the fuck alone. Even if you're harassing me, just fucking leave me alone. Let me work. Harass me and let me work. Oh, no. We'll feel bad about ourselves if you work some menial jobs and make a little bit of money. We'll feel bad. Okay, dude, your life sucks. There's no money. There's nothing. There's no success. Like, when I'm looking at people who have more than me that want to shut down my basic needs, dude, that there's nothing. You don't have anything, dude. You're so threatened. Like, dude, I'm going to give you an example. I went to a gym and there's this white dude that was on fucking steroids, dude, like fucking looked incredible, like crazy. Like, if I could look like that on steroids, I'd take him. Like, I'll be honest with you. I don't want to because it fucks up your liver. But I can understand, like, dude, he looked incredible. Had a hot ass fucking girlfriend, white girlfriend. You could tell he was rich and everything. And him and his girlfriend were jealous of me. Like, they were looking at me like I was a threat to their fucking relationship or some shit. Some fucking rich ass jack fucking white dude, good looking white guy, fucking 240 pounds, way stronger than me. Like, body comparison, he made me look like I never even worked out. Like, it was not even a fucking game. And I'm picking up the heavy dumbbell doing my workout, and he's picking it up. He's struggling to pick it up. I'm sure he's stronger than me, but he's struggling to pick it up and fucking rolling it and like, yeah. And like, I'm a threat to them. Dude, I don't even have a nice haircut. I don't have nice clothes on. Nothing. Like, they act like I was a threat. Like, I might take his girlfriend or some shit. It's not true. They're making this shit up, dude. It's targeting. They're just making that shit up. Nobody's happy. No one's doing anything, dude. When I saw that, I'm like, nobody's fucking happy, man. Fucking weird. You're worried about your girl looking at me, dude. You're fucking big ass steroid monster, fresh haircut. Like, I'll be real, probably looks better than I do, honestly. But still insecure. from the TI being in the fucking room. Because I'm a chosen one. That's a narrative that they're trying to push on me now. I'm a chosen one. I have a light inside of me that other people don't like that light. Like, people are telling me that in my real life. It's all gaslighting, man. It's all to... It's not this scenario where, you know, when everyone makes fun of someone for being such a loser or something, that's what they kind of want you to think. But it has to do with you being better than them, but they don't approve that you're better than them and certain, like, you're supposed to be worse than them at everything or something, or I don't know how it works, but like, you're supposed to be that little nerd because you're targeted. You're the loser nerd that's crying and depressed. And when you're not depressed, when you show some confidence as a TI, that's when they get really fucking hurt. Well, he's targeted and he's still smiling and he's still living his life, but I'm not targeted. I'm fucking mad and I'm fucking sad in life, and I got the girlfriend, but so that's what's going on with that fucking shit, man. I don't necessarily think that's the whole world against me, but when you're a TI and you're not like crying and getting mad, I don't know, man. It has to do with fucking, like, that guy didn't fucking know who I was or anything. It wasn't part of the Gangstalking program, but it just represents that story that a TI can't fucking truly have anything without society fucking going ape shit and fucking trying to destroy it, because that's the norm. Is the TI supposed to be poor? The TI is supposed to do this. Like, dude, if you get a girlfriend as a TI, bro, you can go out and get an ugly ass girlfriend. Everybody was gonna want your girlfriend if you're a TI. You could be dating a fat chick with buck teeth. That fat chick with buck teeth will be the most hollered at girl of all time. Like, dog, it's to provoke the TI into violence. That's why I'm saying, if I ever do go homeless, like, someone's gonna fucking pay for that. And it's most likely not gonna be an innocent person, because that's the last thing I want to do, because that's just stupid. Like, you have to have knowledge of this fucking program to feel the repercussions of it. That's how I feel. If you have knowledge of it, any aspect of it, and you just allowed that shit to happen, like, you're a suspect. And the reason why I'm not going homeless, because I've seen people literally blow thousands of dollars on themselves, and there was never even a remote chance of them going fucking homeless. It's fucking selfish ass people. And then I do everything fucking right, financial, at least in the situation that I'm in. Like, I'm not fucking doing I'm going literal years without ordering DoorDash, pizzas or anything like that. It's not like, well, I'm broke, but I need to order my pizza every week. That's my right. That's my right. I get to order a pizza. I get to buy a new pair of sneakers. You know, there's people that live like that in my situation. You know what I'm saying? And no one punishes them for regular shit. So that's the dumbest thing about America, is like, you can push some little school nerd. I think it's fucking hilarious. I used to fucking feel sad and shit, but I think it's fucking hilarious that, like, some school nerd goes into a school and annihilates the school because he was getting picked on. I'm like, dog, why didn't you just leave that guy alone? Not that the guy's in the right, obviously, but I never thought of, like, oh man, there's someone less fortunate than me. Yeah, let's pick on them. You know what I'm saying? They're literally invisible in my mind. That's as bad as I treat someone like that. Like, bro, I'm not gonna fucking hang out with you. I'm not gonna talk to you. Like, I have no interest in fucking you whatsoever. That's punishment enough. Why do people have to do that? Like, that shit's fucking, it's fucking funny. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it is funny. I don't condone it, but it's funny. Like, if they're getting picked on. If not, like, that's horrible. That's stupid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, you don't do that for that reason. Like, dude, I don't pick on fucking weak ass people because that person, I'm not scared of that person, but that person can sneak up behind you with a fucking gun, blow your head off. You don't know who that person is. Just leave them alone. There's no benefit of fucking messing with them. That's how you know people are getting paid to do this shit. If people are willing to do this for free based on how people look or act, okay? Like, I think it's the same thing if, like, let's say back in the day when gay people used to get fucking messed with. If you were to mess with me like that, I'd fucking kill you. Like, I swear to God, bro, I'd go to jail. I would murder you. Care if I'm gay or not, dog, go away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't make fucking sense. But that's what Americans do. That's what people do. You know what I'm saying? Humans, but more in America. America has a bully culture, and that's why I know gang stalking is real. Not in the sense that everyone's involved in the bullying, but people close to you can absolutely be involved. Let's talk about the witchcraft, because I forgot to speak on that. So if your family member was a witch, and now a lot of these witches and warlocks go to church, okay? So if they're willing to cloak themselves by going to church, I know a witch that goes to my fucking parents' church, that goes to my gym, follows me to my gym with her fucking sister. They wear all black. These are people that go to church every Sunday. They wear all black. Okay, they wear the black lipstick, the black makeup. Fucking, you can just tell they're occult motherfuckers, like Wiccans and shit. Satanists, possibly. So if someone's willing to do that, that's commonplace. How do you know, like, a family member, and especially a lot of black women, but mostly white women, okay? You would never suspect them of doing witchcraft. There's been some white women that I'm like, oh shit, that girl does witchcraft. You know, these girls are going to sleepovers and doing witchcraft spells and shit like that. Now, black people, yeah, it's common knowledge. Dark-skinned black people do witchcraft, okay? If you have a black girlfriend that's cooking you spaghetti every night, like she's putting period blood in spaghetti and doing love spells and shit like that. So they don't look at it as like Satanism, Jeffrey Epstein, human trafficking, okay? They look at it as like, oh, if I do this love spell, then my crush will love me, and I'm not religious anyway, so like I'm not a, you know, this stuff is commonplace, witchcraft. So how do we know if every witch has a family? How do we know each one of our families doesn't have a witch in it? Okay, someone close to your family. Like, you could live in a normal fucking white family and then have that one sister that dabbles in the witchcraft. And then from there, you first start off with a little sleepover with Jesse's house and fucking doing witchcraft spells for your crush, to start going, maybe when we get older, so some occult parties, okay, where they're having sex with like blood and drinking blood and eating shit. Like, this stuff really goes on. Like, it's not common, but it really fucking happens. Like, this, look up like sex magic, okay? Aleister Crowley sex magic. Like, they'll fucking have sex like an orgy with fucking feces and blood on the wall or some shit like that. Like, that's a spell. That's where a demon comes through the feces on the wall while you're fucking having sex, and it's part of a spell, and all of this stuff adds up, man. When people are willing to do that little stuff like that, they change for life. That's what people don't fucking understand. Like, these are the people in society day by day, outside of like pedophiles, murderers, and rapists, that are the bad people. Like, there was a whole witch trial, okay, where society went fucking apeshit and started killing people because they thought they were witches. And it's because they found out what the fuck they were doing. Okay? Like, I'm not saying that all witches are bad. I'm not saying that all Satanists are bad. But I will say that they do spell work. They dabble with feces, blood, and urine. And they do that. Okay? And just based off of that, let's take away the Satanism and all that. You do stuff with poop, blood, and urine and semen, and like, you do nasty shit with it. I don't care who you are. Like, I don't want to be associated with you. You're not a good person. Okay? I'm not making any excuses. That's one thing I fucking hate about this society, bro. If I work at Papa John's Pizza and Family Dollar and I make $1,000 a week, that pisses you off. But someone's allowed to eat shit and semen and fucking have sex in an orgy, and that's their right. Okay, that's their right. But if a gay person does something that you don't like, let's kill them. But if you molest a little kid and you're horny, that's okay. Dude, I'm not playing these games with society anymore. Society should erupt into a fucking global civil war and everyone should be fucking killing each other based on the history of humanity. Just get rid of it. It's dumb. Humans are fucking disgusting fucking animals with that lie. That's it. Humans are disgusting animals that can fucking lie to your face. No one, I have no respect for anything. Like, I don't give a fuck. You're lucky. The reason that there is a God is that we're able to fucking live in some type of fucking harmony because people are so fucking evil. I mean, we live in a disgusting planet where I would say fucking 70 to 80% of women are touched as children. Okay. 40% of boys, maybe 60, 70% of women. Like, dude, we can't even keep our hands off fucking kids on this fucking planet. So when you come at me because I'm a targeted individual working at fucking Food Lion, I fucking want to hurt you really bad. I would just leave me the fuck alone, dude. That's the whole point of me weighing 190 pounds, not 215 pounds, 205 pounds, is so you feel better about yourself, that I can't kick your fucking ass. It's just all control, dude. This is a prison system. Society is a giant fucking prison. It acts like a fucking prison. But yeah, man, I'm not worried about getting older. Let's go back to the witchcraft shit. We're not saying that every person listens to his live stream. In my world, none of our families dabble in witchcraft. I'll give you my world where I grew up in. That would be a rare situation. Like, you can't go in a room full of 10 people on a live stream and be like, yeah, someone in your family is a witch, someone in your immediate family. But in this weird parallel universe or whatever the fuck we live in, like, that shit is fucking normalized. Like, I feel like normal society, like stuff you used to see on the news, documentaries, oh my gosh, satanic cult or blah, blah, blah. And it'll be like, everyone's normal except for that satanic cult. Everyone's normal except for that witch coven. I don't think that's the case anymore. Like, normal society on the inside looking out at this weird shit. Okay? I don't think that's the fucking case anymore. So, if you're a TI and you're real, what if a couple people in your family, maybe one is either a witch or a Freemason, especially Freemason, and Freemasons, yeah, at their dark level, I know from the Black Freemasons, they run life insurance death policies and fucking sacrifice their family members and then to get rich. That is huge in Black Freemasonry. Huge. I think the Black Freemasonry is way more worse than the white Freemasonry as far as like just sacrificing, because you don't really see white Freemasons family members die like celebrities and shit. It's always the Black ones. So I believe that's the reason why I believe, and I've been looking. This had nothing really even to do with targeting, just based on the Freemasonry aspect. There's definitely some life insurance fraud and scams where they take it out on homeless people, like Christopher Mosley said, or family members and shit like that, where it's like quadruple the payout, low rates. You know what I'm saying? They're probably using human trafficking money for the life insurance money pool. For, let's say we have a life insurance money pool of $4 billion that you're going to pay out in policies, but it's actually human trafficking, sex trafficking money, child trafficking money. And like, we got to get rid of this money. So they deposit into a fucking offshore bank account and they fucking shell it out to shell corporations and then put out hits on people. That is the exact science of why gang stalking would exist. We take it too personally, but that's the exact fucking science why it would exist. Is there's the human trafficking child trafficking, illegal money that's coming in lump sums for these organizations is funneled through life insurance policies. Okay. And I want to just stop right here. Okay. Because I'm not saying that theory is correct. I mean, that is a very good fucking theory. But I just so fucking sick of people, well, prove it. How, like, think of the logic though. I hate when people say stupid shit like that, man. Prove it. Okay, well, if someone was child trafficking billions of dollars and then funneling through life insurance policies, how the fuck would I start by proving that as a regular fucking person with no FBI organization backing me and no years of fucking investigation? Even if the FBI was trying to figure that out, it would take 10, 15, 20 years to figure it out. So why do people say stupid shit? Well, prove it. I fucking hate that shit, dog. Oh, let me, I got all these bills racking up and I got to work 50, 60 hours a week. Let me just prove this real quick. You see how targeted individuals, like, yeah, dude, if you're going through similar, I'm not saying we have the same mind, but if you're going through the similar type of like double standard that I'm going through, it's fucking absolutely ridiculous, man. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But I'm gonna research like briefly, not right now, but later, like how much a life expectancy is for a schizophrenic person. A life expectancy is a person with higher stress levels. Because I want to see if this shit. I know poverty, you have a lower life expectancy too. I want to correlates to like 20 years off your life, because if it does, this program makes perfect sense. Let's say the average life expectancy in the United States is 77 years old, with most targeted individuals either doing drugs or smoking cigarettes or drinking. Okay. Most, I would say, are either drinking or smoking cigarettes. I would say a large percentage are using some type of drug, like maybe half on and off, not heavy drug use, but they, considered statistical drug users. Your average life is 77. If you're schizophrenic, your average lifespan is probably 50, 60. If you're doing drugs, that's going to shave off 5 years. Smoking cigarettes, that's going to shave off a few years. And if you're drinking, that's going to shave off a few years. So they're probably trying to kill you around 50 years old. That would make it worth it to them. Now, I'm not trying to worry anybody. You obviously can beat that. It's probably good to know so you don't make any bad life decisions. You obviously can beat that, but it would be worth it if most targets are targeted in their late 20s, early 30s, and then they're expected to die by 50. That's a 20-year span. And they're using illegal human trafficking money to fund it. I think that makes way more fucking sense than the government. Just being honest, and the police. Now, how are the police involved? This is how the police are involved. Whoever is in charge of your targeting has like some type of influence with the police, the DA or whatever. They can pay people off. And they just tell them that you're a mentally ill fucking nutcase, and they fucking gather evidence of you acting crazy online or real life through their harassment, through their little hidden cameras, wherever, like maybe you're in public, there's a perp, the street theater, you get riled up. You talk about this shit online. That's enough for like a cop to fucking harass you. Like, well, he's a threat to cops. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's enough, because you got to think about this, man. When you're a cop, there's cases like you live in a big city, you're a cop, and you know about like the big nasty stuff that happens. I mean, you're dealing with people that beat their wives. You're dealing with people that abuse their kids, starve their kids. You're going to a call where the people are like touching the kids, starving them, having them in cages and shit. You get a call where someone murders someone. So you are used to criminals. So like when someone convinces someone else he's a dangerous criminal, like it's easy to target that person because they're equating you to like their bad cases that they saw. Well, yeah, there's hundreds of people that fucking starve their kids in their city. There's thousands of people that beat their wives. There's fucking I arrested fucking 50 rapists and this and that. Your whole life, the whole cop's life, like no matter how smart they are, is like dealing with society's filth. So if someone can convince them that you're a threat, like you do the nasty shit that these people do, they know how to fucking convince these cops. Maybe they have a Freemason cop at the top that fucking gives orders to fucking lower people, and like it's the simple explanation, like he's the next whatever, he's the next this, he's the next that. Like this is part to whatever proactive policing and shit like that. So yeah, the police are involved. I believe that. I just don't think they're at the top of it. They're not the beneficiaries of the life insurance policy. It would be your family. This is my opinion. It might not be your specific family. But I think for this type of stuff to go on for life, for that fucking consistent fucking harassment and animosity, like there's not a lot of people that would throw you on a list like this or put you into toward that's outside of your family. Okay. You might have pissed off one person many years ago. That person doesn't give a fuck. Who are you dealing with consistently? Your family. You're dealing with them consistently. They're the ones that have the secret hatred towards you, not really society. They're the ones that would allow this to fucking happen over society, I believe. Like, I don't think a random person's like, all right, well, I'm gonna put John Smith on the list and I'm gonna fucking get all cash out on his life insurance and I'm gonna fucking do it for 20 years. The people that will be dedicated to that, people that are close to you, that are gonna be stuck with you for 20 years anyways, who's gonna be stuck with you guaranteed? It's your family. Get it? Like, you understand it now? That doesn't mean the whole family's involved, but it would take maybe one person from the family to be involved. I don't believe that there's a scenario where your family isn't involved. But it could be the case for your specific targeting. And I'm not trying to blame it specifically on them. They don't have to know you're being harassed. All they can be knowledgeable of is that they're going to get a payout. Someone convinces them to get a payout. Well, instead of waiting for them to die, we'll pay you now. That's the biggest incentive ever. That's the biggest fucking incentive ever. Instead of waiting for them to die, like, we're not going to kill him, but if he does, you'll get this payout. But in the meantime, we'll give you $100,000. Who's going to say no to that? Okay. If it's packaged in a way, like people in the TI can be, well, they tell your family that they're going to kill you. They tell them every bit of your harassment. Everyone in the public knows about it. No, the fuck they don't. It could literally just be an investment opportunity where your family's given a lump sum by a Freemason. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this shit up, man. Just needed to fucking get that theory out. Google Stoli life insurance, stranger owned life insurance. It's a huge problem. But yeah, I'm out of here.